It's already been 2.5 years since I made the most boneheaded exercise mistake of all time. And what makes it worse? I knew better. Now, we've all been there at some point in our lives when we're feeling particularly smug about ourselves, perhaps to the point where we feel slightly invulnerable, and then disaster. Well, in this case, I happen to be working out, and I'll use the excuse that it was my 60th birthday, so I must have been thinking about something else. Well, anyway, back then, a part of my weightlifting routine included a few pull-ups, and here's the thing. There is a proper way to do a pull-up and a very idiotic way to do a pull-up. And since I was feeling invincible that day, well, I opted for idiotic. So this is what I did. A proper pull-up requires that your hands are placed about shoulder width apart. Now, I did a few of these with proper form, and then a brain cramp set in, and I wanted to see how many I could do with my arms spread wide. I think I may have managed a couple before I felt a funny twinge in my left shoulder and thought it might be best to stop right then and there. The next day, however, my left shoulder was quite sore. I remember telling my wife that I think I may have tweaked a muscle, and then I never thought much about it until the following day when I tried to return to my regular workout routine and I couldn't even perform the motion of a bench press. Because if I moved my shoulder a certain way, which was right there, I got a massive jolt of pain. But only if I moved my shoulder in this narrow range, right between here and here. Well, for the next few months, I was in firm denial that it was anything more than a pinched nerve, as I kept saying to my wife that it'd probably be about another week before I was back to normal. So, it's now 2.5 years later. With several physio sessions thrown in for good measure, it still hasn't healed 100%. So, because of that torn muscle, I was forced to design an entirely different exercise routine, which I'm happy to say turned out to be far better than what I had been doing up until then, but well, that's a story for another day. The hard lesson I finally learned from that idiotic pull-up experience is that excessive confidence is a warning to be heeded. In fact, when I reflect back on the many decisions I've made in my life, every good decision was based on careful consideration and respect for the unknowable, while every bad decision was invariably based on blind confidence and hubris. See, here's the thing. Whenever you're feeling particularly chuffed with yourself and you're about to make a decision, whether that decision is in the gym, in business, or, well, just life in general, let any feelings of excessive certainty serve as a screaming red flag that at that moment in time, you are not employing sound judgment. And that is precisely the time when the most important thing you can exercise is caution. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you being here and hope to see you next time.